What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, nice super clean video today. GoPro hooked us up with a Hero 13, so big shout out to GoPro. Absolutely incredible piece of kit, nice and simple to use, especially for beginners like us just starting the channel. We find it's going to be a very impressive tool to have alongside us to help show what we're doing, help show you guys the problems that we're facing and the good times. So day 3 on the M5. We've got the engine out yesterday from the previous video. Sorry about the quality of that video, a little bit grainy, but hey, we're on a phone waiting for this thing to turn up, so we have to use what we can use, and that was all we had available. So ancillaries are coming off today, the rest of the loom. I'm going to get this pulled down to the bare block, and then we can tear into it, see what's actually going on with the smoking issue on the car. Maybe stem seals, maybe broken cylinder, maybe a ring, maybe it's just worn out. The car is around about 750 horsepower at the moment. It has a mess kit on it, taking it to about 830 horsepower. It has been driven hard by us and the previous owners, so it's got about 70,000 miles on the car at the minute, so not crazy mileage, but quite high mileage for a big power build like this. Also, we're going to use this time to get inside there, refresh, put some upgraded ACL bearings in there, mains, big ends, just go right through everything, timing chains, going to be coming along with us for all of it. So let's get into it, let's get this thing pulled down. Just want to take a quick minute just to say, hit that like and subscribe button. Just really helps us with the content of the channel, take you along with us on our journey, and yeah, we can do this ride together. So hit that button, guys, appreciate it. So we've pulled the engine down to nearly where we want to be. We've got the exhaust manifolds off, inlet, rest of the wiring loom, water pump, various bits and bobs. So we found a potential problem for the smoke. I'll just get you in here and I'll just flip you around and just see if we can see what I see in here. So in there, in the exhaust ports there, absolutely full of oil coming off them. You'll see it there, look, you see the tracking of the oil coming off that stem seal, off that valve guide, down the valve stem, same on them all absolutely wet through. So that is definitely giving us a smoke. Whether it's the cause of all the smoke, I don't know. But what we'll do is we'll dive in a bit more, we'll get the heads off, we'll get it down to the chain, we'll take over from there. We've also got seized injectors. These injectors are seized solid, so we're going to have to quickly make a puller up and get them pulled out. We'll make a bit of a slide hammer, and yeah, let's keep going.
5 minutes later.
Right, so we've made a quick puller for these injectors. Just simply welded a fitting onto a bit of tube, a bit of a rod, to a bit of a T-bar welding on, just so it can impact onto. So we'll give this one a go. This is one of them that's absolutely seized in. Just give it a couple of sharp knocks. And out she comes. Absolutely perfect. There we go. Not all about what you buy. Not the greatest welding, but there you go. So there we go. Keep going. So just making a quick note that these injectors are coded to the car, to the ECU. To each ECU there's 4 injectors. So we have changed these injectors, we have replaced these in the past. So we're going to label them up, we're just going to put a bit of masking tape on make a quick reference of what cylinder they're from, and that way when it goes back together there's no need to recode the injectors. If you do mix them up, then you need to take note of these codes on the side there. You can't really see them on camera, but put them in with a tool, which we do have, and otherwise you're going to end up with bad idle, poor running, you know, possible smoke because the trim codes are incorrect. Just a little thing to bear in mind. So it just saves you a hell of a lot of time when you get to the point where you're starting the car, and you know you've already done a load of engine work to it, and you've got some mysterious fuel, smoke, or you know a rough idle, rough running could lead you down the wrong path. Just something to bear in mind. Right guys, so bit of an update. I've got a bit carried away, but not to worry. I'll take you through what I've done so far. So we've got it down to this point. It's a bit literally just about a bare block at the minute in heads. So bank 1 is ready for removal. Camshafts are out, timing chains disconnected. Little bit of a fight there with the inlet cam, obviously. We've got the Valvetronic system on there, so we're going to get the tool to put this back correctly. Part of the learning process, I suppose. We do have an issue with our timing tool. It's actually for an older engine. This is a S63 B44 T1 engine. The kit that we have is this Nielsen kit. Only goes up to early 2014. This is a later 2014 version with the Valvetronic in there, what they put in there to give you a higher RPM limit. So this RPM limiter, I do believe, is higher than the earlier version. So we're going to get this head off, then we're going to move on to this side, get both the heads off. As explained earlier, a lot of oil in these stems. Seems to be pretty excessive just for stem seals though. So we're going to check the valve guides as well, see if there's any wear on them guides. We don't want to put new seals in if they're only going to last a short amount of time because of a loose valve stem in the guide. So we'll figure that out and we'll keep you updated with that one. So let's take this off, we'll move on to this side, we'll get this side pulled down, get the chain off, disconnected, and then we can move on to the block. So yeah, let's keep moving. Right, so we've got the heads off, they're going to go away and get them overhauled, take them in the morning. So now we're onto the block. We've had a couple of little issues with the head. We've had a couple of stuck injector seals in the head. I don't know if you've ever come across these. These are these seals, compression seals. We've had 2 of them stuck in the head, so we'll get a new set of them for all 8 injectors. And also we've had the end of a coil pack. So that one there, you see the difference. This end was stuck in one of the cylinders, well, one of the coil holes in the head. Bit of a nightmare to get out. We've got it out, we've got the plug out, so it looks like we're going to need a coil, which we'll get. Apart from that, we need the tool to put these back in, just to tension the springs down as we fit in the followers, and that's pretty much it. I mean, a bit of fouling. Cylinders look decent. They've obviously, you can see from the tops of the pistons there's been a lot of oil being used. I would say I'm going to try and look at this cylinder injector maybe. It's not looking very clean, looking very rich on there. Could be a high volume of oil though causing that bit of build up on the crown and the piston. But we're going to get it flipped over. In fact, I might tackle the timing case first, get the timing case off her, get all that exposed out, get this crank pulley off and get into that. When I sort of get into everything, I've got a list being generated for everything we're going to need, parts wise, apart from the general rebuild kit which we've got already on order. Comes as a full kit, pistons, rings, the lot. Not a bad price, about £1,200. So genuine mild pistons and whatnot, standard 89mm bores on it, not been oversized. So yeah, let's get the timing case off and let's go from there. Right guys, dark outside, end of day 3. There's the dog. Say hello now. There's the dog, look. I like to say he comes and gives me an hand, but he's an house dog for sure. So I've got it flipped over. We've got the oil pump out of it. Oil pump chain here. So I think we'll be reusing that. Just started to make a start on getting this upper sump pan off. And then basically we'll start getting into the crank, the rods, all the good stuff. So that's going to be tomorrow, so we'll get these heads dropped down in the morning first and get them on with. But yeah, everything's going to plan. But I'll tell you something guys, take a look at all these parts. As you can see, I'm labelling absolutely everything because I guarantee they all look the same, they'll all go in the wrong place, and we'll end up with a bag of bolts left at the end of the job, scratching his head thinking what are we doing. So a few parts to order tonight, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Day 4.
Morning guys, day 4 on the M5. Hope everybody's doing good. Freezing again today, so coats on, overalls on, couple of heaters on the go, but it'll take an hour or so to get anything like warm in here. So we're going to continue with the block today. We've got to this point, ready for the crank pulley off. Very, very tight. So today we're going to have a go at undoing the crank pulley first thing using one of these that I've picked up from our plant workshop. Obviously our other thing is plant machinery. Yeah, the workshop floor is going to need painting in here. We'll get onto why the floor is red and everything around the shop is red. We'll cover that in another video. So yeah, this is a Milwaukee Fuel 3/4, not very clean. It's used daily in our plant workshop, fixing diggers and bulldozers and things like this. So yeah, we're going to give that a go. Get this 27mm nut. Should really have an impact, but hey ho, chrome vanadium's leading the way today. So we're going to pull this off. We're going to get into the timing case, get that stripped out, ready for the new chain kits, and then we're going to get the pistons out, and then the crank. Yep. So pretty much nearly there, down to the block. It's been quite a task so far, but yeah, we've got everything we need. We ordered the coil and the decoupler seals for the injector, so we got as people like to call it, brand new second-hand coil for about 10 quid, which was perfect. Decoupler seals, very expensive, talking 4 seals, 45, 50 pounds, so quite surprised by that one, but we've got them on the way. Timing chain kit was a little bit of a problem, to be honest. not many people stock this item in the UK. So we've got a timing chain kit coming from Germany, should be a few days, and then we should have all the parts we need. Still looking for the tool though, for the Valvetronic springs to set the valve train up there to reassemble it. Still looking for that special tool, so if you guys know of anybody who might have one, hit me up, give me a comment or contact me via the channel. See if we can borrow it or where we can source one from. That'd be perfect. Just one thing I want to run over with this engine. Doing a bit of research, first time I've come across, usually I'm working on cast iron blocks, you know, big industrial engine stuff, and that is, these cylinders are nickel sort of aluminium block, nickel face cylinder wall. I was going to ask a question about honing these out, usually on a cast block, on a cast cylinder block, on a liner. We would emery stone, honing stone this out. After a lot of advice, especially from like the Porsche guys and some of the BMW guys out there, you know, using a felt in a honing compound, the Sunim compound grease to clean these up. I've been into the engine shop, we've dropped the heads in this morning, and what I'm being told off my engine shop when I've taken the heads in for the valve stem guides and whatever else replacing is to leave them, to just clean them up, oil them up, go again. Once the engine's in the car, sorry, I'll just turn the compressor off. Yeah, so once the engine's in the car, to basically just drive it hard, just bed them rings in. The synthetic oil, you know, that we use on all these vehicles now is not great for cutting rings in. I used to use old mineral oil when I was doing builds years ago, run them on a bit of mineral oil, 100 mile, drive them a bit hard, you know. The perfect way for me to bed an engine in is on a dyno, to be honest, straight on the dyno, get it on full load, get the rings cut in. So I'm still wondering what to do with that. We'll get to that point though. So let's go for it. Let's get this timing case stripped down. Let's get into the rods and get the end caps off, get the big ends off, get the pistons out, and then get onto the crank. Right guys, so nice and simple, fairly easy that. All 8 pistons are now out of the block. I have made note, obviously V8 engine, 4 pistons run one way, direction wise, as in the big end caps, the conrod caps, they all have arrows on for the direction of facing. Basically for the thrust side of the piston, 4 run one way, 4 run the other way. I've marked that up on the block. Don't know if we can see there, you see? So you've got 5, 6, 7, 8, and then an arrow on rod, which I'll show you in a moment. So on the rod cap there's an arrow of direction, which is critical when you put it back. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8 on that side. I've also marked it on the engine frame there, just in case the paint comes off. This one's a bit cloudy. 4, 3, 2, 1 arrow on rod. I will clean the block and redo that. However, we've seen something on a piston which is a bit alarming. We need to sort of figure out why this is going on. But in a nutshell, so this is number 5 piston, as you can see here quite clearly. There's something been riding on that, or that's been impacting on something, and here. Looking at it, I'm starting to think it might be the web of the crank what's hitting it. But this is how this is number 4. This is how it should look. Okay, no damage. We have got damage on this number 5. Now, the only thing in there at the bottom of the cylinder is a piston squirter, the oil squirter. This is number 6. So basically nothing else apart from the web on the crank. So as you can see, there's the arrow on the cap of direction, which is why I've labelled it. We're changing these pistons, so we will do a video of that, showing you the correct procedure and fitting new rings. So yeah, why that is like that is a mystery at the moment. Is this sort of indicating that it might have had some work in the past, but as you can see there on that side of the piston there, it's definitely been riding against the cylinder wall. You compare it to the others, I do think we've had an issue with this. I'm going to have to check the rod out for straightness as well, because potentially we might have a rod issue. The problem is with a car like this that's been worked on previously, we're sort of into the unknown a little bit. That is a bit of a concern though. We've got riding on the piston there, and we've got wear on the big end, sorry, on the bottom side of the piston, been impacting on maybe the crank web. Is it a main bearing in the crank there? We're going to open this up. We're going to open the crank up, get the main caps off, and just have a look in there, see what's going on. There's definitely a mystery of what, something hasn't quite been in line. It's been out of true to a point for some reason, but we'll figure it out. We'll get into it. We'll check the rod for straightness. We'll put a straight edge across that, do some measurements with a vernier as well on the rod, and just check some things out. So let's keep going. We're going to go into the crank and pull it out and see what we find at that point. Right, so we've got the crank out. We've got, here's the block with nothing in it. We'll just show you this bit here. These main caps, as you can see, they're right through the white metal on this end of the cylinder block. Thrust washers are okay. I was expecting a bit of wear on them. I was thinking maybe a bit of end float on the crank. This one's the same. Same here. All the white metal's disappearing, so excellent time to be doing these. We're going to be putting ACL bearings in here. Nice performance upgrade, especially with the load and power that we've got on the car. You know, the standard shells just aren't made for the abuse. Here's the mains lock. As you can see, we're right through the white metal on the mains, all the way up. I've got a feeling that this is what's been causing our tilt issue on that cylinder. So the crank's good. Crank's all great. Got the main seal off the back and the chain. We're going to be reusing that oil pump chain. Don't see any issue in unless a new one comes with the rebuild kit. But yeah, so ACL bearings on the mains and big ends for sure. We're going to check the rod out. That's going to be in the next video. What I am thinking of though, I might have a look, see if there's any upgraded rods. At this point I'm starting to think, is it a bit silly not to upgrade the rods while we're here, make a bit of performance engine out of it. yeah, so let's see what's available. I mean, it's been running okay on this power for a couple of years. Might be time to just give us that scope just to turn it up if we need to. We're good. I think we're going to have the car retuned once it's rebuilt. We just don't know what tunes in there, to be perfectly honest. So we'll probably get this something on the dyno later on as another video. But for now, what I am going to do, so I think I'm going to, not this video, the next one, I'm going to dive in. I've already got the ACL bearings, so I'm not having to wait for the kit, so I might dive in, get the ACL bearings in on the mains, get this crank back in, get it torqued down, get it ready for the pistons and rods going back in, get everything cleaned down, and you know, start getting some service manuals together of torque settings and things to get this engine built back up. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this bit of content. We'll keep coming with anything we find on the number 5 rod for sure. It's a little bit alarming why that piston's been riding. Maybe it's just wear on them mains. We don't know at this point. Let's do some measuring. We try to do things on not on budget, but you know, it's not a world-class workshop we've got, but we're just trying to prove that, you know, you can actually do it. You put your mind to it. No shop was interested, no garage was interested, I must stress this, to take this job on. You know, and I know why. It's so time consuming. You've got a car on the ramp, and you know, we're fortunate enough to have our little setup here, what we've got, and you know, we know many of you guys watching do things at home on the driveway, keep the cost down, you know, on budget, trying to learn. So it's fantastic, you know, if we can help in any way. And if you guys can help us with any advice, I really appreciate it, you know. But same again, guys, like, subscribe, and stay humble, keep learning.
Wait a minute.
Right, guys, I know I said I was going to stop the video there, but I found the problem with number 5. Okay, so basically, this rod is twisted. It is twisted beyond belief. Can't see on the video, but trust me, when I line it up with another cylinder, another piston, sorry, another rod, it is absolutely kicked, dog-legged at the top, just around this area here. So we know the rod is the issue. You can try and see, I don't know how good you can see this, guys, but it is kicking off to the right, halfway up the piston, up the rod. Up here, it kicks to the right, comes back in, like a banana. So that is going to be a no-no for that rod, for sure. We'll see what upgrades we can get. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. So cheers, and we'll see you on the next video.